Hello? Are you talking or are you whispering? He's moving his battle cat.
Battle Cat, you don't get to be in the podcast.
Yes,
tonight.
you do.
Okay, well, he can be the opening.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let's just kick this shit off. So, welcome back to another episode of Server Restart In. It is a usually weekly World of Warcraft podcast hosted by three opinionated players who like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I'm joined by Kristen.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hello.
And we're back again after a small break.
Yay. Well,
US
holidays happen.
Yep, U.S. holidays are the best.
Yeah.
Take breaks, do stuff, and then play WoW.
Yes.
And speaking of playing WoW, we've played WoW in the interim. We have. So hopefully everybody has been paying attention to the fact that at the time of this recording, there are approximately 13 more days of treasure goblin portals running around. So
I should probably play
it's
and do that.
they're
Yeah.
every half hour. Even for our realms, East Coast stuff, or Central Time, the even number hours are in Stormwind, odd number hours are in Orgrimmar, and every half hour is a zone in the Dragon Isles. All the top zones, I don't think any of them are in the Cavern. And yeah, you get Tyrell's Charger's mount. There's the Lyle pet.
Nice.
There's a 36 slot bag. Handful of cosmetics, a bunch of charms that just sit in your bag like Diablo shit, take up space but give you like little stat buffs. They're kind of dumb. They finally took those out of affecting things in raids and dungeons. Apparently they were active in there, and I don't know if that was wreaking havoc on the tuning or some shit like that.
Oh, I got the polearm and Lyle.
Ball.
Oh, yeah. And that's the nice thing, too, is that if you get the pet 1,800 times, you can trade it 1,799 times because you can only have one of them, and you can't crate it to give away, so you have to trade it or trash it. So, It's just funny. It's not uncommon to see a large group of people going, open trade for pet, open trade for pet, open trade for pet.
That's what I'm doing right now.
And nobody needs the pet anymore because everybody's gotten the pet. So
for me.
yeah, I guarantee you'll get it like in the first 3 times you do it.
Oh, I've gotten it 4 times.
It's not as uncommon as it may seem. They've tweaked the numbers. You have a extremely higher chance, I think, for the mount and the pet on your initial attempt for the day. And then kind of like what they did for some of the mounts in the holidays. So that way, it's like your first shot is your best shot. But just remember, you miss every shot you don't take.
I think I've gotten everything now. I think.
Oh, brag about it.
She just did.
I did, yeah. Sorry. Someone was asking me about the pet. I'm like, sorry, I just gave it away.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
Tyrell's Charger was the one that came out with
Diablo
3.
3. Yep. You bought a year worth of game time, got Diablo 3 for free, and the mount.
What I think is frustrating.
Didn't you get into a beta for WoW too? Or was it vice versa, maybe?
Beta. No, you got into the beta too.
Beta for Panda?
No. Yes. I think.
Was it that long ago?
Either beta for Panda or what's it called after Panda? Warlords.
Yeah.
Was it?
What did it come out during Panda? No, it came out during Cataclysm. So Panda was after Cataclysm.
No, it
right?
came out in Panda because it was 2013.
2013. Yeah, it was somewhere around there.
So then wouldn't it be Warlords beta? Was Warlords after?
That was Panda. Warlords was 2014.
So it had to be Warlords beta then.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Is
Yeah.
Warlords beta.
Because that was when Brian, right around the time Brian and I first met, started geeking out about WoW.
Timeless Isle. That's what. Yeah, I think it was Timeless Isle.
Wow.
When we started playing together.
We were working together, and
I have no, I haven't. I'm still waiting for the stupid
Oh shit!
I'm still waiting for the fight and leg. Dang
Diablo
it.
3 came out in May of 2012.
holy shit, maybe it was Panda.
I think Hearthstone is probably the one that came out in 2013, isn't it? I'm wrong on everything, so it doesn't matter.
That doesn't make sense because I thought we were working together when that. Maybe not.
When Diablo came out?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm very frustrated, though, with how they're picking and choosing to put stuff in, right? Like, to put stuff in that was either a trading card or purchased, like the mount, was you essentially purchased that mount, and now it's, a prize for, the treasure goblin. Why aren't they doing that with other stuff as well? Like, I'd like them to do that. I still want that druid set from the Pandaland challenge modes. I'm still super salty.
yeah.
I never tried to get that.
Maybe that stuff will end up in the trading post.
I bet you it will, because that's one of those. Their take back then was like, you should earn it.
Yeah.
You got to fight to earn it, or whatever the bullshit was, and like it was hardly anyone that could get them. And then now it seems like they're breaking down more of that mentality. So I'm willing to bet it's going to show up probably.
See, I'm of two minds, right? Because
you want them to put everything in there, and you don't want them to put anything in there.
Because I have all of my challenge mode druid forms, and not everybody got those.
Mage Tower?
Mage Tower, yeah. And I like that not everybody got those. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I think the weird thing is now, like, especially nowadays with transmog and all that stuff, there's more than enough stuff in WoW, at least to make sure that people are, distinct.
yeah.
I think the odd thing is going back and thinking about original WoW, BC, and even part of Wrath, because up until the point that you started getting, I think Wrath, I think it's patch they're going into, is where they added getting gear with badges, or maybe it was all of Wrath, but they changed a lot. You could actually get the tier gear from like running just dungeons, regular heroic dungeons,
justice
or something.
badges and all that stuff. Yeah.
And so it was at that point that it seemed like it kind of just changed a little bit, because all before that, and I guess this is my point.
There was
like you could go. I remember going into that. I guess it's prestige. I don't know. It was just really badass to see someone in tier gear in original WoW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, they got that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that goes along with like 40-man raids and the complexity and the amount of time to actually be able to do that stuff and organize. And it's like, there is more prestige buried with the arrangement of a raid than there is just the gear itself. So, like, does it actually, I'm not saying it does lose its value, but, is it less valuable for it to be available because of that? Does it break that historically down? I mean, I don't think so, but
that's changed since then, right? It's like, it's funny because I think I saw something somewhere where eventually, like, the corrupted Ashbringer might be available again. Which was a extremely rare drop from the original Nex Ramus that they took out pretty quick, so very few people even have it.
It's funny because they're still doing the same stuff though. Like, one thing that irritates me is like that. Isn't there like the badass armored thing for Mythic in this current raid that you can only get on Mythic? I think there is. I don't remember. I remember thinking about talking about or something like that, and it's, I don't know. That's where like I'm not necessarily saying like it's unfair that those things are there, but it's like shit. I'd like to have one too. Can I get an easy mode one or something?
I mean, you can still get it, just maybe not this expansion. You know what I mean? Like it's still, it's not like what they went in. I never forget when they went all in at the end of Myths with we're removing the Rathian quest line and we're removing, you can never get the cloak again. That was shitty.
Yeah.
That's shitty. Let people go back and do that content, which is why I was happy when they put the Mage Tower in. The only problem is I am unhappy with how they implemented it, of course, because I think should have left it as it was and maybe given you a gear set that was, when you went in there, that was appropriate and you could use your legendaries. You know what I mean? I know that talents have changed and that was a problem, and I get that. I don't
talents
think they could have.
Stats and stuff have all changed for them.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't feasible, but you know what I mean? It's still nice. It was nice that they put new rewards in, and they put new rewards in that are going to carry forward so you can continue doing it. So, okay, maybe the original stuff is lost to whatever, right?
The annals of history.
But at least they've put in stuff going forward. I was so mad with their flavor of the month, not flavor of the month, fear of missing out, FOMO stuff, right? I hate that. I hate the seasons because it promotes FOMO, right? Mm-hmm. Can't get the mount if you don't get 2K in a season, and then the mount is gone. You're never going to get it again. Well,
and it's funny. It's not even really the FOMO itself. It's the way that they're pushing it to cover any gaps that they may have. Is the problem, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I don't like, because that's the same. There's no difference in the original, Evercrack, the Evercrack schema that they used to produce WoW originally, right? The nonstop questing. There's always something to do, or you're gonna, like original WoW. The thing was you had to grind for gold. You had to grind mobs to get gold to train. Finish training, go raiding, stuff like that. So like it's, I don't know, and it's always like it's a lack of. I'm gonna go back to it, but it's a lack of persistent worldness that contributes to all the shit. I don't care what you say.
Right.
I think exactly that. Because I shouldn't have to. I should be able to log in whenever I want to and feel like I'm not behind. But I shouldn't have to be accounted for in a statistic for them to address. Like, well, we want you to be able to log in whenever you want to. Therefore, we're going to have these catch-up mechanism currencies, blah, 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 all this crap that they do. I really don't need that. I don't care that much, right? But I do want to log back into the world and be a part of it. Well, and so, like, that's the huge part they're always missing out on. It's always like, so yeah, I don't know.
But in that regard, you can get those catch-up rewards, but you don't have to do anything with them. But there are people who they just level a character to raid. They just level a character to do Mythic Pluses. And they do, and I don't do this because I love my druid, and so I only play my druid. But there are people who flavor of the month, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all they do is they just play whatever is the good class, right? For that season, right? And they flip around and they do this and they do that. And so in those cases, or they're leveling to cover a gap, right? So say we suddenly didn't have any more healers in the raid, and somebody says, oh, hey, well, I will level up to cover that gap. I'll make a healer, and then you have to gear them up and blah, blah, blah. So in those cases, I think that those systems are good. You know what I mean? They're beneficial, and you don't have to partake in them, but they're there for the people who do want to partake in them. And there's a choice. You can use them or you can't use them. You know what I mean? So the choice is there to cover all things. If you decide that you don't want to do it because you just want to, maybe you delete half of the things that you get because they're, you know what I mean? Because you want to simulate how you would normally get them or something. You have that ability to do that. You don't have to take the stuff that they give you. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So
you could say you want to be on the same schedule of LFR, right? And you want to just do one thing of LFR every 2 weeks. You could do that. You know what I mean? Like, you have that option. That's something that you can do.
We should make an add-on for people who want to experiencing the shit acquisition of gear to just randomly delete quest reward gear that you get. You just turn it on and you say only keep 10% of
something like that.
and it's just like you get a good piece of gear and then boop, you delete it.
It's gone.
Fuck.
You know what I mean, though? Like, because there are people who just like to do certain things in the game, and that's, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I just like to raid in Mythic Plus. Like, and it's funny because one of the people in the guild was asking me today, we were talking about rep, and I said, I was talking about that bird mount that you can get with the Stolen Breath of Inara, that one of our guildmates got. And I'm like, oh, well, you can get the Stolen Breath of Inara. You just can't use it until you're rank 25. And I'm like, oh, only 11 more ranks until I can hit rank 25. And one of our guildmates was like, you're not maxed on all of your rep. And I'm like,
you don't
no.
play.
And she's like, but that's your main. And I'm like, yeah, but all I do is raid in Mythic Plus. I don't do world quests. I don't do rep grinding anymore. I don't have the patience for it. I don't want to sit there for 6 hours and do that. I want to log in one night, do my Mythic Pluses, and then not have to worry about it. I want to log in one night, do my rating, and then not have to worry about it. I don't want to be forced to do that stuff. And the rep grind and getting so it was shot. And then she felt better because she's like, oh, I don't feel so bad. She's like, because I'm pretty far behind as well. And I was like, see? There you go. You know, like I just don't care about the rep. You know, I used to max all of my reps. I used to be super anal about it. Had to get everything to exalted. Now I'm like, I don't care if they like me or not. Whatever. I'm saving the world. Either way, I'm going to save it. If they like me, if they hate me, it doesn't matter. You know? F them.
F Blizzard.
F Blizzard. I've never said F Blizzard so much as I have during this stupid quote unquote Treasure Goblin Diablo 4 promotional period. They took something that should have been fun and enjoyable and made it feel like you have to log in to get this stuff if you want it.
That's their recipe.
I know, it's terrible. It is. It's the Blizzard recipe. You think they're going to do something cool, and then they monkey's paw you. Bam! Here is how we are going to make it terrible for you. It's going to feel like a grind you have to slog through. And that's exactly it. Like, every half an hour, here I am. It's a choice that I'm making because I want to get the stuff, but it's a shitty choice.
I mean, they don't want to just give it to you.
Why?
Because they want you to play the fucking game.
I am playing the game.
All right.
I'm playing the game more than I ever would, and I'm hating it. Like,
they don't give you tokens or anything like that from these events.
No, but they should.
That's another thing.
They
lack doing stuff like that.
Stupid charms that give you 100 health or 200 armor or 100 agility, which I don't know if that's good or bad or not. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It feels bad. It's like, yeah, okay, drop tokens and then have a vendor. And then if, God forbid, your RNG luck sucks, like mine, you have a backup. You know, maybe you sit there and you farm the crap out of the tokens. And then you buy the things. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there are so many different ways they could have done it that would have made it feel better. You know, now I'm just kind of like, I bought Diablo 4, but now I'm like, fuck it. I don't even want to play it anymore. I feel like I've been playing it for the last freaking week.
I don't know.
I haven't even bought it yet, so.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting.
I am salty because we just bought the standard edition for it. And I'm sorry, but I think if you pre-order it, everything should come with early access if you pre-order it. it's. I feel like it's
you don't
shitty.
get it with the standard
not with
thing?
standard apparently. Apparently only with collector's edition, which I think is shitty.
Yeah, early access is live. It says upgrade
Yeah.
to digital deluxe
Yeah.
or ultimate edition to play before the release date.
Yeah, which all we wanted really was the
WoW mount. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which, yeah, I mean, that was still a good chunk of change
Yeah.
just for the standard edition. It's just like,
yeah, how much was it? Like $50 or something like that, or 70? 70 for the standard.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
that
then
which I think is bullshit.
like $20 more for like the next one up and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And it's
Which
just like,
is fine. I mean, it's not like we can't afford it, but it's a matter of principle. I don't think a game should cost $90. You know what I mean? I don't think a game should cost $70. Not with how many there are. Sure, when they were not making as many, maybe games were cost more, but it's the same with freaking books. Like, don't even get me started on digital books costing $10, $15. It's a goddamn digital file. You're not printing anything. Ugh! Okay, I'm done. I need to stop.
Printing money. They're printing money.
They're printing money. Yeah, not for me though. Let me tell you.
Jim, did you want to talk about WoW?
I don't even know where to go from here.
I don't. Sorry,
I mean,
you can like cut that all out. That's
no,
just me ranting.
I no, rants are good. Rants are good. They are engagement.
I don't know about that.
Well,
they're frustrating.
sure. But I mean,
I guess it's one thing for me not to only be frustrated with WoW. I'm frustrated with other things as well.
yeah, but I mean, you know, it's, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it feels like if they're trying to promote a game, they should promote a game in the best way possible that makes people want to play it, and not people who are like, oh,
I'm
Jesus
just waiting
Christ.
for the cow levels to start because where the fuck are the cow levels?
Are there gonna be?
There is no cow level.
Okay, but
Figuratively and literally.
There was for the D3 stuff. There probably will be towards the end of it. The treasure goblins start opening portals to the thing where you can kill it and get some more things. Because I know that it was there, and I have distinct memories of it. So
yeah. But again, like, is there going to be? Are they going to put them in?
they talked about it, and they said that the cow level isn't real, which is the big meme joke about the cow level. So
Sure.
So I don't know. We'll find
I
out.
feel like if they're not in now,
No,
like,
no, it'll be a thing at the end because that's where the 12-string guitar and stuff comes from.
I have that already.
Well,
I know. I was shocked. I had to look.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There we
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. I had to look because I had to actually go through and look at all the things that dropped to find out what I needed still. And I was like, oh, I still have that. Oh, I have that. Oh, I have that.
Ooh,
Oh,
a piece of candy.
Yeah.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
That's the
Ooh,
first
piece
thing
of
I
candy.
thought of.
yeah. I'm like, well, that's good
Oh.
because I have that stuff. And so now I just have to wait for the offhand.
Oh, Jim.
So it is June 1st. It is a new trading post. And
yeah.
there are 3 mounts that you can get
Yeah.
for the trading post.
Well,
There's
there's
3 that
2
you
mounts
can
that you can get.
There's 2 that you can purchase
Yeah.
from the trading post,
No,
and
no,
1
no.
that you get for.
No.
If
There's-
you've saved your tokens, you can get both of them.
Sure. I guess.
Can you
But-
buy tokens yet with cash?
Yeah, right. Check the store. I'm checking.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm
The Wrath
checking.
token was kind of out of the blue because I wasn't paying attention.
Wow,
but
token.
Oh, they added WoW tokens into Wrath.
yeah.
What does it get you? Does it get you gold or does it get you?
It's same way. Same exact token. You buy it, sell it in the auction house, and get gold.
This is
They shouldn't have done that.
this is depressing.
What?
I'm looking at all the stuff I own on the WoW store.
That's most of it.
Yes. That's depressing.
But yeah, so if you fill up your bar with all the points, you get the parrot mount, which has got some pretty fucking cool colors. It's like a teal and purple parrot.
It's cool looking. I saw somebody had it.
Yeah, it looks kind of like. Oh, he's got a peg leg too.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
yeah, and some other stuff on him. Yeah, it's Quawks. So it looks like it's similar to Squawks from Freehold.
Mm-hmm.
So, or Shark Bait. I'm sorry.
Shark Bait. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's nice. There's also the Cinder Flame Charger, which looks a lot like the Celestial Charger, where it's just a fire horse with like fire wings.
It's cool. I'm getting that.
And then there was the other one, which is the Flying Bug Mount. It's a yellow bug.
Yeah, I'm not getting that.
So there's a bee pet and stuff like that.
Bee pet is actually okay. It's huge.
The pet?
Yeah. Like I saw somebody with it in Valdrakken and I was like, holy shit, that thing is huge.
So, yep. So everybody should check on that. Oh, yeah. And, one of the things you can do is kill 2 treasure goblins. So, I mean, yes, there is kind of back to that. It is kind of a grind, but they're up to an hour. So you get 48 chances in a day for like a 3-ish week period. So, I mean, you can jump in, do a few and jump out kind of thing. Just, so it's not quite as daunting as like you have to like sit there and wait and you have limited chances and stuff like that.
Hour after hour.
Well, yeah, but you have free time right now, so there's nothing else you're doing. It's like, but you don't have to do this. You could take a break for a few hours, read a book, play a different game.
I do.
Come back in, log in, and do it a couple more times, or do something else, or do it in between waiting to do dungeons and stuff. It's one of those things where it just there's ample opportunity for it. It's not like it's like every 2 hours or every 6 hours. 48 times a day is a lot of times for the treasure goblin to be up. So, but yep, that's just that. So
I just feel like with everything with loot, I feel like if you've gotten something before, it should give you something else. You should roll on the loot table. Oh, hey, you've already gotten this? Let's give you something else. Like, instead of getting the haunted leg 6 bazillion times, which is what I've gotten.
So, we all know in 10.1.5, we're going to be seeing some, like, alternate timeline shit with, like, all the timeway issues shit that's coming up. Apparently, there's been some data mining of some NPCs from that have undead models, including Verisa Windrunner, who's the Banshee Queen in an alternate timeline.
Oh, interesting.
Uther the Deathbringer. So, yeah. So it's like it doesn't really have much, but it's a pretty neat model. He's got kind of like Death Knight armor on. It's like, did he take the place of Arthas as the Herald of the Undead kind of thing? Because this must be from the one where like the undead take over. Because there is a timeline for that. And then there's this the Sarian Hand of the King. So it's like, yeah, he's a death guy, but it's like what his role is. So that's pretty interesting to see that they're kind of doing some of this stuff. It's pretty neat. It's funny because if you look at the Verisa Windrunner model, it just looks like they used the fucking the Dark Ranger stuff that they put in.
Really?
The armor looks good, but it's just like the skin and the red eyes and stuff, like the effects that they put in, which is fine, right? It's like they had access to those assets anyway. So, I mean, but it's pretty neat to see that there's kind of some new stuff like that coming in. Yeah, we did a bunch of pushes on some keys and we hit our 2K rating already, which is like 3 weeks in, which it felt like it was definitely a lot easier this time around.
I like the new affixes. I think the new affixes are good. I like them.
We were pretty geared, so you're kind of jumping in, starting at higher keys. So you have less to work up and stuff like that. Plus, you have the advantage of having worked it together the whole first season, with a core group. So, that kind of like makes it easier to move on. But yeah, the two affixes, that the new ones, like the entangling one is pretty easy. You just run out of a circle or you get stunned. That's not hard.
Super easy as a druid because you just shapeshift. Yeah. Which is nice. You don't even have to move.
Incorporeal, which is that's the one where you have to hard CC the mobs before they get their cast off. That was pretty easy to deal with when you have everybody but a DK have a hard CC, which we're going to circle back to in a minute. But then the other one was Afflicted, which requires some sort of dispel.
That one was a little annoying, but not for the reasons that most people find it annoying, because a lot of people were bitching about the nameplates. I didn't have nameplate issues with that one. Mine was that a lot of time, I know I have yet to heal them up. I didn't try to heal them up, but as a druid, it's a little bit harder to heal things up to full because, hots, or you're like burning a swift mend. And
yeah, you either dispel them or heal them to full.
That haversack. Okay, that's nice.
But yeah, so I mean, they all present their challenges, and that's kind of the thing. It's like you have to know going into it how you're going to handle it. What classes have what types of purges, like remove poisons or diseases and magic and all that kind of stuff. And again, Death Knights don't have to do anything because they can't.
Just got it easy.
So they
Two
have
of those affixes. He doesn't have to worry about it all.
Yesterday there was a hot fix that went out, and this doesn't mean anything until Incorporeal comes back around as an affix. They added the ability for warriors and Death Knights to actually counteract them.
Oh,
so
what's gonna?
Warriors, I think, can dominate mind, and Death Knights can control undead.
Oh.
Which controlling undead, it says the effectiveness of incorporeal beings' destabilization is reduced if cast while charmed, meaning so they're susceptible to charm effects, and their immunity effects can be removed by dispels, which means you can maybe kill them instead of CCing them.
I mean, the CCing wasn't too bad.
Control undead makes them a pet for the Death Knight, which means that when they cast destabilize, that they cast it against enemies.
Usually it just gets rid of them? Is that it's actually going to make it as a pet, or is it just going to get rid of it? Because that's what usually happens.
Don't know. It went in after the affix.
I would assume that it's just going to get rid of it. I don't think it's going to make it a pet. They're just making that a form of CC that's usable, so that way you can do it. I don't think they're going to make it it's not going to make it a pet. It's just going to
we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if it actually makes it a pet, and if it actually makes it do damage to enemies. That would be
I don't think that would happen, just because then if it does a significant amount of damage or whatever, then you're only going to be taking Death Knights and Warriors, which, I don't see that. You know what I mean? I think it'll follow the same things, where it'll just be.
It's not clear. It says what it says. So we'll see. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
And test it. It may be good. It may be not. Don't know.
It will definitely be interesting.
Yeah. So we will see about that. But yeah, like the dungeons feel like they're starting to line in for some of the higher keys, to like the tuning's getting like really like super fine now, to where like they're not like super difficult, but they are getting to be a point where it's just like, okay, we can do this. We just got to kind of, make sure we know what we're doing. It feels like they're kind of falling in line. Some are good for tyrannical, some are good for fortified, and some are bad for either of them and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not as, it feels like they tuned them a lot quicker than they did for the first season. So, it just kind of feels that things are in a good spot, and they're fun. It's like there are some frustrating parts in it, but it's like you learn, you adapt, you overcome, all that good shit, right? Like good little WoW players.
Yeah, like good little WoW players.
So yeah, I mean, there isn't really a lot of news for the live version of the game. I've kind of been avoiding most of the stuff for the PTR.
That's really unfortunate.
Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to talk about. So today, I started doing some side quests. I did the Orc Heritage Armor quest line, which was pretty good,
Ooh, did you do the undead one too?
Oh, don't make me sad. I started the human one.
Close enough, I guess.
Which the Orc one was interesting because they have basically like a calling of the clans, and it's everybody: Dragon Maw, Burning Hand, Black Fist, and you get to see who's kind of leading them. You can talk to all different kinds. Like Atriarch is there. Like if you remember doing the Tanan Jungle starting line in Warlords, he's the guy that interrupts the thing and gets huge and giant and bulky and fights, and you run across the bridge, and Khadgar destroys the bridge, kind of thing.
Oh.
He's there. He's like, it's like I can't get back to my normal thing, and people always want to fight me, kind of thing. And he's just like, I just don't want to, but like Rexar and his dad are there.
That kind of orc.
Yeah. Rexar and his dad are there. So there's there's all kinds of character development for you. Get to meet Thrall's kids.
Rexar's dad?
Yeah. It's like Lorax or something like that. And,
Lorax.
Yeah, apparently they weren't talking, and now they kind of are. But it also has a lot of the half orc clans. Like the Mach or whatever the ones were in Outlands, a bunch of the ones from Outlands are there and all that stuff. So it's just you can talk to all these people and just get little bits. There's the one Shoka is there from in Panda. She's the one that you control with the sniper. When you do the story from Rico, when he tells the stories, it's like, oh, what happened to your Jeekin face? When she's shooting the barrels and stuff like that, and she talks about how she, you're like, well, you sided with Garrosh and all that stuff, and she's like, yeah, it felt right at the time, and then it got to, it's like, so you get that kind of shit, right? And so it's just all these interesting orc characters and stuff. So it's pretty neat, and you get a toy, and it represents one of the clans. It's a banner, but. And I thought I had read somewhere that it would be set, but it's not. You can go change it. You can talk to somebody and change what banner it shows. The toy is just one toy, but you can talk to somebody to change it to one of the 5 or 6 clans and stuff. You get to talk with Thrall's kids and stuff like that, and it's just it's pretty good. And in the human one, starts off some shit's going on, and it kind of revolves around Anixia back when she was Catherine Prester or whatever, when she, when she was doing all this shit to basically kind of create the Defias Brotherhood. So you end up dealing with Van Cleef's daughter. She's there and working with Shaw and all that kind of stuff. And so it's some interesting stuff going on, Vanessa Van Cleef, that's her name. I haven't finished that one. But, it's just some interesting lore stuff in there. But the main quest line that I did it's an offshoot in whatever, and it was the follow-up for the tier-based quest line, the Silver Scale one. So if you've not done it, I don't know why, You basically get this scale and you blah, 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 and you eventually end up recreating a body for Tyr that's inactive. And so you're trying to find like this memory or something like that. Like there's like this stories of like, or like Nosdormu like notices like there might be something somewhere. So you go to Tyr's Fall, to the grave of Tyr, and you find one of the last Tyr guard paladins. Like he's the last one there, and you kind of like relive Tyr's last memory. So it's him in Tyr's Fall. And so you play as Tyr and you run around and you kill a bunch of old god creatures, and you're fighting with the Vrykul, and then you fight the guy that, you know, he dies to, like Zirak or whatever. But there's this phase where you have to fight the corruptions of the aspects, and he's like, we're going to corrupt all your aspects, blah, blah, blah. So you fight Neltharion, and like halfway through he turns into Deathwing. You fight Malagos, who went crazy. You fight Ysera, who turns into the Nightmare Ysera, and then you fight Nosdormu, who turns into Murazond. And that, you know, and these are all things that hadn't happened at this point. So it's like, how did Tyr see these visions of these corruptions of the aspects way in the past before any of that ever happened, right? And then you fight Alexstrasza, like a corrupted version of Alexstrasza. So the question is Alexstrasza going to be corrupted sometime in the future? Because we know Nosdormu is going to turn into Murazond at some point. That just seems to happen no matter what the timeline. We fought, you know, but we haven't seen anything with Alexstrasza. So, what?
Did we rescue her in Cataclysm? That was a quest line in Cataclysm, wasn't it? We had to rescue her. Maybe not. I don't remember. There's something about Alexstrasza up near Tolbarad. Nope. Nope. Tolbarad. Huh?
Tolbarad. That was the dungeon, right?
Grimbatal.
That's it. I mean,
yeah, so like I remember up on a cliff, you did something with Alexstrasza up there, but I don't remember what it was. I thought we saved her. Maybe we were saving her.
One of the consorts or something.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a quest line because there's some follow-up quests like later on in the game that go back to that area, but I don't know. It's just interesting that there's this concept of potentially an old god corruption of Alexstrasza that hasn't happened yet, because all the other ones are old god corruptions, which kind of means that Nosdormu is an old god, gets corrupted and becomes Murazond. That somehow has to do with old god shit. So it's kind of like tying back to that shit. You know, it's like, and we got like the Shadow Flame shit coming up in with Farak, which the Shadow Flame stuff is kind of what started Neltharion's corruption. You know, and so it's like there's all this heavy old god presence, you know, and like
lots of spicy stuff.
Yeah, it's like we've killed all the physical manifestations of that stuff. We need to, maybe next week we'll take a look at a lot of the Il'gynoth whispers and see which ones have happened and which ones haven't, or which ones may have multiple instances of happening. That sounds like that'd be fun. We probably won't, because that requires doing research. So,
and I'll be on vacation.
Maybe in 2 weeks.
He said in the middle of the podcast.
Oh, that's nice to know. Well, so, yep. Next week, you guys, we'll just tell you guys now, there won't be an episode next week. So,
in the week after,
keep it. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, fine. We'll just do the podcast without you.
Oh, you should invite somebody on. That would be fantastic.
We got time to figure that out, but in fact, we should probably stop now and start figuring it out. Okay, Kristen has an idea, so we need
one of our faithful listeners.
It'll be a new. Oh, I know who. Yep. Oh, he's gonna like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
too.
you probably
that would be
do.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
Please do it. Well,
yeah, we will,
but
and then you can listen
this
to it.
individual has been on before, hasn't?
No,
We did the Mega Dungeon
Yeah?
in Tasavesh.
that's not who I'm talking
Almost
about.
2 years ago, by the way.
I said one of our
Tazavesh.
favorites. He doesn't listen to us.
I'm not talking about.
Yeah, the other one.
We'll talk about it. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Special stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. We don't even know what it is. Maybe you do. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for listening. You can check us out at facebook.com/server restart in. Shoot us a tweet at server_restart. And catch you guys next week. Maybe with something special. Bye.
Bye.